All right, this is a walkthrough from one of the co-founders of Hello Audio, talking about Descript and how it connects to Hello Audio so you can export a project into a feed in Hello Audio directly from the Descript app itself. So here I am in Descript. Let me just jump straight to the end where we have some example stuff. And what I want to do is send this out to Hello Audio. So we're going to export this. So I clicked share, export, and then more. You'll find Hello Audio here. You can say whatever you like. This is the title, and it's going to publish URL. But more importantly, what it's going to do is send it off to Hello Audio. So continue to Hello Audio once it's done. As you can tell, it said, do you want to do this again? I said yes. So I have done this before, but this is how it works from start to finish. Your project's done in Descript, and then you go into whichever feed you'd like to add it to. So I'll do testing 1, 2, 3. I choose this feed, and it pulled the title from Descript itself. So I'm going to choose that feed, and it's just like you drag and dropped your media file directly from your desktop. It's added to the end of your episode, and there's a little timer running as it imports everything from Descript and converts it. If it's not already in audio form, you can convert. You can send a video project from Descript, and we'll convert it into audio for you. So yeah, it'll take a minute, but once it's done, it shows up here. So that's the integration. Okay. If you're not familiar with Descript, let me go back and talk about what you can do with Descript. Okay. So let's say I wanted to start a new project. I'm going to say this is an example podcast or something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and add this new project. I have 2 short voice tracks, just examples, that I'm going to drop in here. So this is making a composition of, say, 2 people who recorded different sides of a conversation in a Zoom call or something like that. I dropped 2 MP3s, voice 1 and voice 2. And it says multi-track detected. Looks like these are the same duration. Combine them into a multi-track sequence. Yes, that's exactly what I want. So it figures out that this is appropriately the same thing, the same audio, the same conversation that should be played at the same time. So I'm going to hit transcribe, automatic. You can take your pick of which one you like, but I'm going to go with just the normal one. Takes a few minutes. Some of the stuff might take a few minutes just to 1, transcribe, but 2, process all the empty space, the filler words as I'm using here. I should probably run this through Descript once I'm finished. But yeah, so it figured out that there are 2 tracks. It named it with the first MP3 file's name, but it's actually both. But I'm going to wait for this to finish. It's 1 minute and 22 seconds long, and it's taking about maybe 15 seconds to completely transcribe. Cool. So voice 1, voice 2, and let me see if this works. Thermo and StatMech are parts of physics that require... Great. It's a little loud. I don't know that it has volume control built in, but a little crunchy. Oh, here we go. I can turn it down right here. That's probably fine. Okay. I know this is my own voice, so I'm going to rename my stuff. And then voice 2 is my co-host, Zach. So perfect. We have both of our voices, and it's pulling appropriately from the main project. So I'm going to rename this actually and say main tracks. Great. This is the podcast. And again, it's only a little bit of length, so we don't chew up all the hours and hours of recordings. Thermo and StatMech are parts of physics that require... Okay. So what do you want to do now? Let's play with the tools. Makes Descript awesome. Let's say I want to clean this up. So click the gear, and I can shorten word gaps. So if there's a big pause between words longer than a certain time, say a second, I have 1 of those. I'm going to say apply to all. Well, there's only 1, but let's do it. It shortened 1 word gap. I believe it shows a little squiggle in the project itself where it did that. I think it's right here. So that gray dash means it did something for you. So if I click on that, it shortened up this gap, and I bet it was longer originally. But yeah, if you want to undo what they did, you can go in here and hover until you see that square bracket with the left right arrows, and then slide things around as you like. Okay, so that's one thing it can do, shorten word gaps. What else can it do with its magic tools? It can remove filler words, and it looks like it's underlined them in blue already. So the I, and like, and ums, all those things, remove filler words. And you can see they show up here on the left, looking in already a minute and something. I have this many filler words. Kind of, all that stuff. You can go through one at a time and decide to delete them. The other thing you can do is ignore them. Ignoring means they show up in the transcript still, but they're crossed out and the audio doesn't play. So deleting means they will be removed from the text over here and the audio is also removed, but ignore is just removing the audio, but it keeps the words in the transcript. So you can find it if you want. You can use it later. You can remember that that's what it was, but it's up to you. I'll just do ignore, and I'm going to apply to all. Ignored 14 selections. So see that they're crossed out. What that means is, let's go to here.
Problem, but it's...
So you can see it cut the like. So, but it's unfortunately.
Problem, but it's unfortunately
Yeah. How about this one?
Suddenly know and memorize. And
so it picked up that was a double word, kind of a stutter. So it figured it out and changed it. And you can see it's optimizing edit boundaries. You saw how that first one was kind of jumpy. It can figure out a better way to make those words blend, and it does it for you automatically. Cool. Okay, everything's been done. I'm going to let this finish. Also, my computer is kind of taking off. It chews up your battery real fast, just a heads up. Sounds like my fan is going to take flight. Okay, what else can we do? I think that's pretty much what we wanted to. Shorten the word gaps, remove the filler words. Okay, if you're editing a podcast or a show or something like that, sometimes you want to pull out some highlights. So let's say flashcard tools, because you probably haven't used flashcards in a very long time. I say, I want to make that a highlight. So what I do is I highlight it, and I can actually right click and I can clip it. So I can move it to another place. So let me say, I'm going to make it a new composition. And if I get rid of this view, hello, please go away. Nope. There we go. Clips. That's what I wanted. So what it did is it copied the text basically, but also the audio, because that's what Descript does, into another composition inside the same project. So as I find things I like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect. That's what I want. I'm going to add it to the clips. Whoops. It duplicated it. Okay.
Obviously, you don't do that every time you saw.
There's one.
Flashcard tools.
There's another. I can actually fix this by Control A, Control C to copy it, and then paste it. And look, figured it out.
Flashcard tools.
Obviously,
you don't do that every time you solve a problem.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's really great. Let me delete this one. I think it's really great if you're editing something, you want to say, okay, this is a highlight. I'm going to add this to the highlight reel, which is the clips. So highlight it, add it to another composition in your project. Okay, lastly, some little advanced stuff. Say you wanted to actually come in here and edit out. Say Zach and I were talking over each other. Actually, why didn't it figure out that this is Derek? There we go. Okay, it for some reason thought I was another voice. Yeah, okay, now it's the same person. Let's say we were talking over each other and you wanted to cut out only one speaker. Let's go into the actual, I think it's called a sequence, and I believe it's Command-Shift-O. I was right. Look at that. This looks like a DAW. This looks like a digital audio workstation, and I can go in and scroll around and find a section and say like, oh, you know what? I don't want this person's voice. Voice one is Derek. I don't want that person to say those words at that time. So I'm just going to highlight it and delete it. And what it does is it keeps the other voice intact. It doesn't edit their voice. Or I can go in and say there's some little clicks that are happening. I'm going to get rid of those. You can come in and do little splices like that from the audio waveform itself. So once I'm done, I can get back out and yeah, I've edited one voice and left the other one alone, even though they're talking at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you can come in here and you're like, you know what, that was a little too egregious. I wish it kept the word like there. What I did is I clicked right before it and I went down to this area until I got the square brackets and I slid until I saw the word like. So it brought it back. So now the word like is there.
Problem, but like it's.
So I can even get the other one. Looks like there's another time I say like. Where is it? Oh, I brought it back. So yeah, I see. I could hide it again if I wanted to.
Problem, but it's.
Cool. So that's how Descript works. Everything looks great from here. I can finish up by exporting all of this, again, straight to Hello Audio. It knows it's called main tracks, but I know this is my fancy edit. And boom. It makes a page for it, and then it moves over to Hello Audio, and it adds it to whichever feed I want. Let's go back to testing 1, 2, 3. Choose that feed, and boom, it is down here, my fancy edit. And look, this is the title, the one we did earlier. It's not published. I can flip this switch, and it is now published. And then once this one is done pulling from Descript, it also will be able to be published. But that's it, start to finish, Descript into Hello Audio. So check out more information at helloaudio.fm, and also check out Descript, their fancy tool. You can learn more on Descript.com. And yeah, thanks. Talk to you guys soon.